guys, welcome to my mess of a room right now, and hair and face and everything. You can't even tell. This is what my room is looking like. So as I'm sure many of you guys are experiencing right now, we are transitioning into online schooling. And if you're like me, I am not used to being online. I have always gone to high school and college in class. When I did high school, like college courses, I still stayed at my school and took them through my school, CIS, College in the Schools. It's an offer that we have here. I know it's popular in Minnesota, or at least the Midwest or something. I'm not sure exactly how it works throughout the country or even the world. That's what I did junior and senior year, and then now I am in college. This is my freshman year of college. Technically, I'm a sophomore standing now. That is just what I did. And so I'm used to having in class, showing up for class, getting assignments, going home, doing homework, or going back to my dorm, because I did live on campus in my dorm my freshman year. And this is just kind of, it's a weird transition for a lot of people who especially haven't done online. So today I thought I would share with you how I am going to start transitioning into online school and what I am going to do for organization and all of my ideas that I've kind of collected, what I plan to do, and then I'll probably end up doing an update at the end of maybe the semester or maybe sometime in May when I kind of get an idea of like the routine and how things are working. My school does not get out till May 15th, so I'm gonna have at least a full month and a half of this, about 6 or 7 weeks, I believe 7 weeks of school. I just want to show you guys how I'm organizing my stuff, my desk and everything. I am in my filming room, but you're getting a different angle because I brought my desk from my bedroom down to my filming makeup room, which is now going to be kind of like an office space too. And I have debated on bringing this desk down here for a while now, but I decided now that I'm actually officially going to be working here like every single day for college, I figured it'd be nice to have a fresh space to work that my room organization just doesn't really working very well. And so I just kind of figured that this would be a good spot to do it. So I'm going to show you guys a little tour, and then also just kind of how I plan to organize and keep everything together here. Also, I did ask on Instagram in my YouTube community tab about questions that you guys have for a lot of you who are transitioning online to school and what you kind of want to know, how if you're kind of curious about how other people are doing it. So I did get a couple questions on those that I will answer. And yeah, I am really excited for this video because it's a lot different than a makeup video that I usually do. So I think that this is going to be kind of a good thing to kind of share with you guys what exactly I'm doing, because this is up my alley. I like organization. I like doing this stuff. So if you are into this, I think that this will help all of you college students. And if you are maybe a junior or senior in high school who are maybe doing college classes as well, I feel like this can apply. So without further ado, let's get started. Creating an environment that you want to be productive in. That's why I moved a lot of this stuff down here. I have never been one to sit on my bed and do homework. Now that I've been home from college and I've just kind of slowly been doing stuff, that's something I have been doing a little bit more lately. And I'm not saying that I'm going to be coming down here and doing homework every single day in this room, unless it's probably like a super really productive day that I need to get so much stuff done, then I'll probably come down here. There are definitely going to be days that I'm going to be in my room sitting on my bed if I'm like having to watch videos or do whatever it is. Then there's going to be those times that I definitely will. You got to be realistic. Like, you don't need this strict have to always be in this area, but just having like an environment that you know you can go to is kind of helpful, especially knowing like a lot of coffee shops, everything's closed and you can't get out. And that's one thing that I really like, is when I can get out and go to a coffee shop and sit and just work. A lot of people don't have that, and I'm fortunate enough to have this separate space. But if you don't, especially in your room, if you have a desk or have an area to clear it and make it seem enjoyable and productive. For me, that's having a clean space like I had showed you. A couple things, I'm able to visually see my calendar, my books and everything are all organized, and having that makes me feel a lot less stressed, because even though I moved back from college yesterday and I have so much stuff everywhere, that was stressing me out for no reason, because I'm such an organization freak and I can't have crap everywhere. It gets to a point where it just stresses me out. So having that clean space for me is what helps me. Whatever helps you, do that. So the first thing I want to do with this video is go through and show you my desk organization and how I am planning to kind of get this organized, and then I'll go into different other ways that I'm planning to, like once I start getting into schoolwork. But this is like my desk, kind of how I'm gonna organize it that way. I have all of my notebooks and folders for my classes in this like little, in this organizer here, which I think is great. I think that that's gonna keep me organized, and that's kind of how I had it. At school, I had a desk where I threw all of my notebooks and folders and everything in the desk, and it worked fine, but I kind of like this better. I did have, most dorms a lot of times have like the desk, and they have a thing that kind of goes up that's removable, that I put all my books up on top there. So I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna do my books yet. That's the one thing that I'm a little bit like, I don't know. I do have this shelf over here for my makeup. I can use that like shelf if I really need to, but then it's kind of invading my makeup space. So I don't know exactly what I want to do with that yet, because I don't want to move everything around. I did get my printer back from my dorm, because this used to be, this is what you would normally see in my background of my videos, which is probably going to stay pretty much the same. The only difference is I have my printer there now. But I do have this table that I got from Five Below, which is like a cheap foldable. It's super cheap, but it's like, it really worked, especially like in my dorm. I set it right next to our futon, and we just kind of displayed like cute little things, and it really worked. I have to give props though to my roommate Ashlyn, because she was the one that really decorated our room. So yeah, she came in clutch. But I think I might set it in this corner. I've always had a table in this corner, but I think I might put it there. I think that's where I'm gonna put my books. So I'm gonna put it there for now. And I know that this seems like it's kind of clustered. I probably will actually, I don't know, I could shuffle my desk down just slightly so it's not too close, but it's okay because I had all this extra space in here that like, I still have like the middle of it, so that'll be fine. But I think I might just keep this here for now, and I'll just kind of stack my books on there. I also have like my empties bin, which I need to figure out what to do with, because I always just had this set on the ground. I don't know, I could just throw it under there. Okay, so now that I have finally gotten ready, it is now time to show you my kind of final plan here. So I finished organizing my desk, which I think it turned out really great. I will show you kind of what it looks like in a second. I'll cover a few other organization things, but first let's get into my desk. I put this little table that I got from Five Below that I said I paid $5 for. I just set it there for now, and I have stacked all my books that I am needing, and then this has nothing in it besides highlighters, but eventually, like when I have more desk organization stuff, I plan to put it in there so that my desks don't get super filled, because a lot of times my desk drawers get really filled. Then in there, I have stuck all of my folders and notebooks, so it's kind of like my books and everything are right there. I wanted to keep my desk pretty clear. This is a nice kind of way of, it's clean, and then I know that I'm not going to always do homework down here, but this is definitely an option for when I do, and I am more likely to use my desk down here than I would in my room, because my room had my TV sitting on it, so it was pretty much blocking everything. I'd therefore have to sit behind my TV, and it just was not very logical. This just keeps all of my deadlines. Like I kind of said earlier, I just have this little cute saying and then a candle, because I love candles. This is just a phone charger, so I do have the iPhone XR, so I can definitely charge it when I need to. My water, and then this is something that I've always kind of had on my desk, but it's just a cup full of pens and everything. I had so many pens, I don't know if you saw when I was organizing, so I decided to kind of just take out the ones that I thought I would use, and then a couple pencils. This is the thing that sat on my desk at school for like the coming week and everything. When I had deadlines for that week, this was a great like to-do list type thing, which I will get to in a little bit. And then in my desk drawer, the normal desk supplies in here has all of my colorful Sharpies and my Papermate flare pens that I really like, and any of that, and then just kind of useful scissors and stuff like that. And then in this drawer, I don't really have much. I have a notebook. I have an extra book that I used. Literally paid $30 to cut open the back of it to use a code for online. Flippin' ridiculous. That's college. Just some miscellaneous stuff. This will probably change, but for now, that's all I have in here. This desk is from Target. If you're curious, I got it probably a couple years ago now, so I don't even know if they have it still. If they do and I can find it, I'll link it below. The nice thing is with all of my craft stuff, I keep a lot of craft stuff in this little thing. Obviously you never see it because I film from there, but I keep a lot of it in that little container. So it's nice because I can throw extra like nope sticky pads, and it's out of the way and it's under that desk there, but when I need it, it's there. And that's where I stuck a lot of like markers and crayons and colored pencils and like extra just craft supplies. Is all goes in there. This is a mess. Haven't figured it out. It's not super organized, but it's just kind of how I have it right now. I have my printer there. That's extra printer paper. I have no idea where I'm going to put that, so that's why it's just sitting there, but it will not stay there. And over here I have my whiteboard, which I will get into in a second. One thing that I really want to cover is getting into a routine, because when you are staying at home, especially for these next couple weeks, when you're not really supposed to leave your house unless it's for absolute need, it's going to be kind of hard to stay on a routine, especially when you're kind of stuck at home and all you want to do is be lazy and lounge around, and that's what I'm gonna want to do. One thing that I've really been working on, especially leading up these past couple weeks, is looking at my class schedules, because some professors or some teachers, whatever you're in, are gonna have like video chat times, and you need to know those. So honestly, I'm probably, once I start to really figure it out, when I get a schedule, a lot of my professors are emailing me stuff right now. Some of them you haven't heard from. It really depends on the person. But my major calendar deadline is where I'm gonna add all of those times, so I know in advance and I can visually see in advance when I need to have at least be available for a time that I can do a live chat. A lot of people are using Zoom, which is a website. I honestly am not familiar with it at all. I have never even used it before, but that's what a lot of my professors are planning to use. And so by using a deadline calendar, which is what I have posted on my wall here, I've color coordinated all of my specific deadlines for major things like papers or tests or presentations, those type of things, not little assignments like reading and stuff. Major assignments I've put on there for me to just visually see, so I can kind of plan ahead. And that's when I'm going to add my class schedules and meetings. I think it's very important to invest in the calendar. They're not super expensive, but even if you have one, just pull it out, and especially for this time, staying online, I think that can really help. I think another thing that is a good idea too for kind of getting into this routine of staying at home is having a kind of a start time every day. Especially when it comes to meetings, if your professor obviously is going to be meeting during class time, well then you're gonna want to be prepared then. Some of them aren't going to have it during class time and they'll have random times of the day, so that's why it's really important to know like when they're going to have meetings. But also having a start time, I don't really want to get into the routine of waking up at 10 o'clock and then kind of going with my day. I'm probably going to try to start getting up at like 8 and starting my day so I can at least get all my schoolwork done, and then I can be done by like maybe 3 o'clock, and then I can go do what I want to do the rest of the day. That's something that I think is like really important, because when you do have class, you have class at set times, and then you have, for me, I'm usually done by like 1, 2 o'clock every single day, so I have the rest of the day to do what I want. I mean, a lot of that is homework time, and a lot of now is not necessarily you're really having class time, you're just having a lot more homework time. But if you are getting up earlier at like 8 and you're starting by 8 or you're starting by 9, you can be done by 3 o'clock with most of your class stuff and even your homework, because you're not having to go to class unless you have video chats, and you're actually like doing stuff you need in class, but you're also doing homework. So you're almost getting more time than you would if you actually have to go to class, when you could be doing your homework and getting stuff done at your own pace. So in a way, it's kind of a blessing in disguise. It is kind of nice. That's another part of my routine, is setting limits. So I really want to plan out my day. There are going to be days that I'm going to have to be up. If I have a test the next day or something that's scheduled, I need to plan out studying. And so a lot of times I am up later studying. Whatever works best for you. I think some people, it's like, I'd rather start now and be done then, and then just have the rest of my day. That's kind of how I was in high school. I'm still that way in college, but some people maybe want like, I'm going to start this time, be done at noon, have from like 12 to 3 open, and then 3 to 6, 7, I'm going to do more homework. Or maybe it's probably what I'm going to do is get up, do all my stuff, and then have some of my day, and then maybe before I go to bed, start studying again. It's kind of like gonna take some time to adjust getting into a routine, but definitely setting your time is really gonna be important, because that's how you're gonna be able to get as much done, and then also have that free time. Because when you're not really scheduled and you're kind of relaxed and just doing whatever the heck you want, I know for me, I would feel so jumbled. I would feel like I'm not getting anything done. I would be stressed. And I think that that is very important to not have, especially when you are having to do this online thing for at least a month or 2 months or whatever it is. And then also making to-do lists. Like I was talking about earlier when I was showing my desk routine, the get things done little notepad that I have. This came in really handy when I was going to class, actually. I would write down assignments that I had to do as soon as I got done from class that I had to do that night, or had to do, my classes are every other day. So if it was like a Monday class, I had to have this done by Wednesday, but a lot of times I got Monday's stuff done Monday night, so I didn't have to worry about it Tuesday, because I knew Tuesday I was going to get more homework. So having a to-do list, not even a to-do list, but just like a list of what I needed done that week, definitely helps. I have never been one that's like remembers it in my head. I always write it down, whether it's a planner or a list like this, whatever it is, I've always had that, and it's always helped me. So I can visually see this is what needs to get done. I'm a natural plan aheader, definitely try to get things done in advance. So if I saw this list and I'm like, half this stuff isn't due till Friday, but it's Tuesday and I have so much of it to do, I start freaking out. Definitely like making the list and everything really helps me, especially like now when it's going to be, I have to do more classwork at home instead of just homework. I do want to get to some whiteboard, a whiteboard that I created for organization, but I have created a way that I am also, besides like this to-do list, have a more visual way, especially in advance. Like I can just lay my week out in advance and see it, whereas this to-do list was more like after class, my homework, I would start writing it. But I like this whiteboard organization that I started. I wrote all my classes down and I visually write all my assignments that I have for this week. I didn't put a place for the date, but I printed off all of my class names, but then I also wrote like, some of my classes are more structured, like this one that I'm in, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, she had specific things. But like my other class that I'm in, it's just get this done by this week. Also kind of more things in advance I might write on the bottom. So having a whiteboard like this has helped me too to visualize. This is the geek in me that's kind of coming out. Help me be able to visualize everything that I need. Whatever it may be to help you kind of visually organize is what I would say to do. I know like my boyfriend Isaac, he is not going to do this because he's not like this. So he might have other ways that he is going to organize. Maybe you're more of a person that doesn't have to write things but has it on your Google Calendar. I know at my school a lot of people use Google Calendar. My RA was always sharing stuff on Google Calendar. So whatever it is that you use to help stay organized, definitely continue that as you're going online. Another thing that I want to do is get ready every single day. I've heard a lot of people say this, especially when they work from home, that you're going to be more productive when you get up and you get ready. I always, a lot of times do get ready. Like I today haven't gone anywhere. I don't know if I'm going anywhere, but I'm getting ready. And I feel more productive than when I sit around in sweats. And I'm not that person. I've never really been that person that like come home change into sweats. I've never really been that. Of course, I'm wearing leggings and I'm wearing a comfy outfit, but I'm at least wearing a presentable outfit that I can go somewhere if I have to. Especially like once kind of like the strictness of everything is being lifted. If you're planning to get your homework done and get your work done in a 6-hour period, say you're going to be done by 3 o'clock, well then now when it's 3 o'clock you're ready to go and then you can just go do whatever you want. So that's kind of another reason why I say get ready, because then when you're done with stuff then you don't have to spend another hour getting ready, you're already ready. For me, having hard copy notes is nice, and I think sometimes the online thing is stressing a lot of people. It's stressing me, just kind of like how am I going to stay organized. So one thing I'm really going to do is keeping with hard copy written down notes is going to really help me stay organized, because I'll be able to have an online version, which I do like working on a computer a lot of times, like typing papers obviously, but when I have hard copy notes, that's also another thing that's going to kind of help me stay sane, so it's not all online, which I think a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, everything's online. If it's possible, if your class doesn't require you to turn in online notes, which I don't have any classes that are like that, to try and help so it's not all online, because sometimes that can be really stressful. Kind of like one of the last little things that I have before I move into the Q&A is working ahead, planning accordingly without overload. So like for me, if your classes, my classes start on the 30th, but if your classes don't start till the 6th or whatever it is, start planning ahead. Start getting on top of assignments ahead of time. Don't just show up on the day that all these classes start and be like, okay, now what? Prepare. And I think that's a lot of, in college, that's something you have to learn, that you do have to prepare for things. And that's something that I'm really taking advantage of right now, is preparing. I'm using this day and the next day and this weekend to start preparing for things that I need to have done in time for my class. And that way, if it is possible, start working ahead. It's not hard if you like have a deadline due Friday and it's Monday and you're like, I got a little time, a little extra time before I want to go and do something else. Get it done. Especially if you kind of are in that motivation. Like there's some days you have more motivation than others. That's kind of the case with a lot of people. For me, when I have those days, that's when I want to try to work ahead and try to keep up, because then you're going to have those days where you're not as motivated and you're probably not going to get as much done. And you know, that's okay. I mean, it's okay to have those days, but that's why when it comes in handy when you do plan ahead and you help yourself a couple days before, because then you don't have to worry about it. I just have a couple questions that I want to pull out. I have had a few about staying sane. My roommate actually commented as, how do I stay sane especially without you? Oh, I never got around to doing a roommate video with Ashlyn, but she always joked that I was like her mom. It's just funny, but it is hard, especially because we're not getting this social contact, and that's part of the reason why I'm in school, is because I want to get that socialization. I need to get out and have that social contact, and that's something that like you don't get when you're online, and that's an important aspect for me to have. So I think that's one thing that I'm a little bit worried about, but I think also knowing that like everybody's in the same boat, and so if you can kind of plan ahead, I'm gonna start FaceTiming friends, trying to stay in contact when you can, and then once kind of everything's kind of restrictions are lifted a little bit here and we kind of start to see the light in the horizon, you see the end of the tunnel coming to light. I think especially getting out and maybe working on homework with friends and stuff, but it's going to be hard to stay sane because I'm going crazy. I know this week for me has been an emotional roller coaster. I've had a lot of life things happen, but I think this whole situation that we're in is really taking a toll on everything, just feeling confined and restricted and like I can't get out and I can't do anything. It's stir crazy. Everybody's going stir crazy. I mean, we were on a walk yesterday and we were just saw some neighbors and they were like, are you guys going stir crazy? Because we need to get out. It's that time, and I don't even know. I don't even know how to stay sane because I'm going crazy too. Routines and what you are doing to stay motivated. Like I kind of said, I went over the routines. Staying motivated part is going to be a little bit trickier. I think my biggest kind of point that I have for staying motivated is when you have that motivation. There are some days, some of you may be thinking, I never have motivation. But the days that you do kind of have more motivation, I would try to get as much as you can done on those days. I know that we're all kind of trapped, so it's not like we have a lot of plans, but if there's days that you're like, I am going to get up and I'm going to get this stuff done, especially when you look at your deadlines and you kind of look ahead, that really motivates me because I'm like, I just want to get this done. I don't want to have to worry about it. I think that it's a hard thing to do, especially when you don't have like your professor there to physically be there like, this is done, you gotta get this done. It is going to be hard, and I think I'm going to be FaceTiming a lot of friends, and I think if you're kind of in this together, like if you're talking with your friends and you're all in the same boat, I think it can help be a motivation. So I would definitely like for sure stay in contact with everybody and really just help each other. We are in this together. Everybody's struggling with this, so definitely that's something that I'm going to do to help keep motivated. And I'm kind of a more motivated person to begin with when it comes to doing school and homework. I'm not always like super excited about it, but I feel better when I get it done, and I know that about me. And so once you kind of recognize whatever that is about you, then that can help you kind of keep on track. And then I got another one that asked about procrastination and time management. Kind of going back to with what I was saying, procrastination is never really, for me, I'm not a huge procrastinator. I can be, right now I'm procrastinating because I should be doing a homework assignment right now and I'm not. That's why I've kind of set those limits of wake up at this time, get this done at this time. If you have to, set an hourly routine, like I'm gonna take this time and take this break. For me, that's ever worked to be like, okay, I'm gonna do an hour of homework, a 30-minute break. I'm usually pretty disciplined when it comes to homework, that like, okay, I've been on my phone for 20 minutes now, I need to get off, or an hour, whatever it is. I need to get off and get back to work. But for people who aren't, sometimes having that log of like certain time limits of getting stuff done, some people need that. So that's another thing too with procrastination. Maybe you need to have that very structured thing. And time management, again, when you're kind of focusing on, your classes. I mean, I know some people are going into 4th term in high school. They're not in like semesters, or trimesters would have already started. They're in quarters. And so sometimes if you're in your 4th quarter, you don't know a class. But if you're in college, you're already in your semester and you already are halfway through your classes, you should know what classes need more attention than others. And it's not hard, especially when you're getting pre-reading materials before a class to start, or you're the first week. It's not hard to figure out what classes you're probably gonna need to give more attention to than others. And I definitely have that. There's classes that I spend way more time out of class time working on than I do in class, and that's just how it is. And once you kind of figure that out, then you're able to block out your time. And the nice thing is, with this kind of whole online thing that we're at, there's not a lot of FOMO, fear of missing out. There's not a lot of, everybody's in the same boat, everybody's stuck at home. So it's not like, oh, I gotta get this done so I can leave and go do this thing. You're not really gonna have that option really anymore. So that's why I think it should be a little bit easier to focus on getting schoolwork done, because you're not going to have all these distractions. It's not like it's the summertime and we're like out doing all these things. Where I live in Minnesota, it's still cold. So it's 40s. So it's not like that's pretty warm for us, but like we can't go out on the lake yet. So there's not a lot to do outside, and there's not a lot of people that are around to do things. So right now for me, I'm using this time as getting stuff done and working ahead. So the sooner you work ahead and you get a lot of stuff done, especially in college, they really give you that like, get it done, like when you can get it done. And it's hard to, because you get a lot of stuff, but if you're able to, especially for some classes, the sooner you get it done, the sooner you're done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you did, definitely give it a thumbs up. Let me know if you have any more comments or anything. If you just kind of want to chat, if you guys just have anything to get off your mind, this is just kind of a space where we're all in this together, and this is going to be kind of tricky and hard, but you know, we have to work through it, and it is what it is. So this is what I'm doing. I'll definitely update you guys in the future kind of what else I think, but for now, this is what I'm doing, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I love you guys so much, and I am thinking about all of you. Definitely subscribe to my channel if you're new. I'd love to have you stick around. I'll see you guys in my next video.